Uja, we're going to wait a minute or two so that other people can tune in before we begin. Thank you. Just going to get some water. Okay. All right. Welcome to today's presentation of Cosmic Adorations for Djehuty. This series is happening whenever a celestial event taking place within the sacred hoop. I don't have a picture right now, but it's the constellations of Gemini, the Great Dog, and Asar. Orion representing Djehuty, Anpu, Aset, and Asar. So right now, the sun is in Sidereal Gemini, of course, and the moon, Mercury has joined the sun in Sidereal Gemini. And it's also the full moon tonight. I'm not doing a full moon presentation. I have stopped following the moon like that. So we're going to start with our devotion. What is that? And if you want to follow along, I have my notes at tachia.com/cosmic-adorations-Djehuty, so you can follow along. Yep. All right. So let's just dive in. Don't tell me. Altar set up today. It took me all day to join here today. I was just having quite a day. What is that page? So I'm not going to have a lot of wisdom teachings, readings for Djehuty because that's such a vast subject. I'm just going to jump right into the music. And then the pieces that I have chosen for Djehuty, we'll go over the translations for those. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with the opening prayers. These are, this is one that's offered before studying from the Pert and her Rip. Om Nebuchadnezzar, capital sorrow. 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 Nebuja Kibra Sorrow. Om Nebuja Kibra Sorrow. Om Nebuja Kibra Sorrow. Om Nebuja Kibra Sorrow. Yes, so that is a Hekau or chant that honors Nebuchadnezzar, who is the supreme being, the oneness of all, the omnipotent divinity, who had a thought and came forth as Kepra, who is the creator of the gods and goddesses, all the cosmic forces of nature, and then came forth as a Sar in human form as the universal soul. It looks like we have a few comments. Questions. And for you, those of you on YouTube, if you could just tell me how the audio is. Sometimes it sounds robotic, and I don't know how to fix it. Okay, it looks like we have a few questions here. This is really cool. What instrument is this? This is a sapriwa. It is a harp from Ghana, and it's the style of harps from ancient Kemet. So I got one, and I love it. Oh dear. Oh yes, that's to remind me that it's time for the golden hour. I am from Chicago, and I am currently living in Chicago. Chicago as in Tamari America. And I believe that I've lived in Sirius star system before, and also I've lived in Kemet before, and I believe I've lived in South America, Mexico before. Anywhere there's a pyramid, I feel like that's where I'm from. Thank you for asking. All right. I don't know if you heard the introduction. Today is offering of cosmic adorations because Mercury has joined the sun in the sign of sidereal Gemini. So we're having offerings for Djehuty, and then also Aset, Anpu, and Asar. Thank you for joining. Oh yeah, you're in Detroit? Okay. Some of my relatives live in Detroit. I haven't seen them since I was a little girl. Have you ever been to Dot and Etta's? That was our family business in Detroit. In Chicago, it's White's French fried shrimp. But in Detroit, it was Dot and Etta's. Okay. Now we're going to have the 4 great truths of Chautau Netter. I'm going to read the translation first. It's from the Chautau Netter Devotional Manual Handbook. I don't have my light. The sun is already going down. Uja Dua Kemet 369. So here's the translation. You know, I'm going to have to go get my lamp. I'll be right back. When I sat down to start, the sun was bright. Yeah, it's taken me a while. Finally, understanding that these offerings are not just to help others, but they benefit me as well, as far as cleansing my RU, and yeah, so just have a whole new attitude about it. All right, so here's the translation. The Netter, the Supreme Being, is one and alone, and is Nebuchadnezzar, manifesting everywhere and in all things in the form of gods and goddesses. Nebuchadnezzar means all-encompassing divinity, the all-inclusive, all-embracing spirit which pervades all, and who is the ultimate essence of all. This first truth unifies all the expressions of Kemetan religion. Number 2, lack of righteousness brings fetters to the personality, and these fetters lead to ignorance of the divine. When a human being acts in ways that contradict the natural order of nature, negative qualities of the mind will develop within that person's personality. These are the afflictions of Set. Set is the natural root of egoism, jealousy, selfishness. The afflictions of Set include anger, hatred, greed, lust, jealousy, envy, and gluttony, dishonesty, hypocrisy, etc. So to be free from the fetters of Set, one must be free from the afflictions of Set. Number 3, devotion to the divine leads to freedom from the fetters of Set. Yes, so I would just be honest that I was having lots of negative qualities in my mind, and devotion to the divine leads to freedom from the fetters of Set. So that is why I am here. To be liberated, not for freedom to breathe from the afflictions of Set, one must be devoted to the divine. Being devoted to the divine means living by Ma'at. Ma'at is a way of life that is purifying to the heart and beneficial for society as it promotes virtue and order. Living by Ma'at means practicing Shedi, spiritual practices and disciplines. Washu means devotion, and the classic pose of adoring the divine is called dua. Standing or sitting with hands, with upraised hands facing outwards towards the image of the divinity. This is also how we say Uja or Hatep. Number 4, the practice of the Shedi disciplines leads to knowing oneself as a divine. This is called being true of speech. Doing Shedi means to study profoundly, to penetrate the mystery, Shatout, and discover the nature of the divine. There have been several practices designed by the sages of ancient Kemet to facilitate the process of self-knowledge. These are the religious Shatout traditions and the Sema, Smai Tawi yoga disciplines related to them that augment the spiritual practices. All the traditions relate the teachings of the sages by means of myths related to particular gods and goddesses. It is understood that all of these Netaru are related like brothers and sisters, having all emanated from the same source, the same supremely divine parent, who is neither male nor female, but encompasses the totality of the two. So, right now we're going to have the offering of the 4 great truths of Shatout Nectar. It's one thing to read them in English, at least for me. It's another thing to sing them in Red Nectar. Say what you say, not fool inside you said. The shady record in market. Anatadu, never shed him, Nataru. On the arts resell, you said, say, come in. Say what you say, not fool inside you said. The shady record in market. Anatadu, never shed him, Nataru. On the arts we sell, you said, say, come in. Say what you say, now food inside you said. The shady called in market. I would never shed it, not to do. On the arts we sell, you said, say, come in. Say what you say, not food inside you said. The shady become in market. Do a tap. Those of you on TikTok, if you could just tap your screen a few times, that lets the algorithm know that we are here and we are doing some wonderful goodness. So if you have a moment, just tap the screen. Thank you very much. All right. And so YouTube seems like you're doing all right. No one's telling me it sounds like a robot today. So that's good. All right. Now we're going to have the offering for Anpu, the opener of the way. I'm sorry I don't have the image of the sacred hoop up today. I will include it in the clip. To say my mind was just, ugh. So I don't have the images ready for you today. Okay, so here we go for on poop. And this is also in the Chautauqua Nature Manual. And I believe it is from, where's it from? Right now. It is taken from, it doesn't really say where it's taken from. I'm sure it's from the Pergamum, I just don't know what chapter it is. Oh, on pool, opener the ways. Oh, on pool, opener the ways. Remove obstacles in my success, in my spiritual practice. Oh, on pool, opener the ways. Oh, on pool, opener the ways. Lead souls to the narrow pathways, to know the difference between real and unreal. Oh, on pool, opener the ways. Oh, on pool, opener the ways. Measures between heaven and hell. Days black as night, golden as the day. Weekly watcher by night is by day. Oh, on pool, opener the ways. Oh, on pool, opener the ways. May on pool make my ties firm, so that I may stand upon them. Oh, on pool, opener the ways. Oh, on pool, opener the ways. I wash myself in the waters where on pool washed himself, where he was the officer of embalmer and bandager. Oh, on pool, opener the ways. Oh, on pool, opener the ways. My lips are the lips of on pool. 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 A tap. Yes, that is a great offering to make when you are you're not able to find something, or when things are blocked. It's definitely a way opener, and it's kind of a way to ensure that what you're about to do is not going to be plagued by technical difficulties. Right. Now we're going. So that was on poo. Now we're going to do a song. These are the opening prayers, and then we'll get back to our set. Okay, where'd you get them? Let's go back here. Well, this gotta be it. Oh, okay. There it is. All right. All right. So I think I'll read the translation after for this one. And so we're in this is for the constellation Orion. Pooja, I found you on TikTok. She's really good with sounding bowls, y'all. Oh, thank you. Today is a presentation of Cosmic Devotion, Adorations, and the sound healing will be another day. But I'm so glad you found me. You can tap the screen. That helps people know that I'm here and that we're having a great time of devotion and enlightenment. Oh my gosh. Okay. Another. Okay. I have like 2 studios, so some things are still over in the other space. All right. So now we're going to put a couple of offerings for Asar. always play the same rhythm. You are star unifer natura, Carabatu, Sutin, hey, Erjeta, Sebebi, hey, you are star unifer natura, you are star unifer natura, you are star. In God's mood, yeah, our pet, yeah. To a star, unifer natura. To a star, unifer natura. To a star, uraritai, hey, Meta ruin pay. You are a star on the fire natural. You are a star on the fire natural. Glory to a star. Oh, never. Glory to a star. Oh, never. Glory to a star. Oh, never. Glory to a star. The great God within us. To a star. Translation. And this is from the Purdom Haru edition by Dr. Wanda Ashby. Adorations to the divine in the form of the moon Asar. The moon is a symbol of the divinities Asar, Djehuty, and Kansu. And here at Asmati Temple, also Sasheta. Here's the translation. Adorations to Asar, Unifer, divinity, great personality, in the heart of Abdu, king of eternity, Lord of forever, traveling for eternities, in form raised he, son primary of body of Nut, engendered by Geb, master lord of the Uraret crown, exalted white crown, prince of gods and goddesses, and people. So Asar represents the universal soul and also represents each one of us. And whenever you're studying the scriptures and you're reading about Asar, you're actually reading about your own journey. Even if you're reading about any of the cosmic forces of nature, they're forces that live inside of us. And when we chant their names or offer them devotion or make offerings, we're actually making offerings to ourselves to waken ourselves up so we can stay awake in this crazy madness. Like, you know, what happened to me the past couple of days. My friend said it's the moon. It could be. I just was so emotional. And I kept saying, I'm going to sit down and do this offering. And it just wouldn't happen. So I literally made myself do it to just today. I'm not really totally prepared, but I'm here. That's what counts. I made it to the temple. Alrighty. Next we have another chant for Asar. And this one is taken from the Robert is here. Robert. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoy it. I know you're cosmic, so you'll enjoy it. So this next offering is from the Tefnet Egyptian yoga posture system. Also, my variation, the Aku Seneb reflective meditation movement system. And when you get to the very last posture for the mummy pose, it's Asar after he's been, laid to rest, waiting to be awakened by his sister wives. The last line says, the journey of the soul leads to me, Asar, to the universal soul in eternity. So be raised, be joyous, and be enlightened in peace for eternity. So that is what this chant is about. See if I can find another rhythm. I just go to the same rhythm. Me is in the tap, me is in the tap, me is in the tap, unchen. Me is in the tap, me is in the tap, me is in the tap, onken. Me is in the tap, me is in the tap, me is in the tap, unchen. Me is in the tap, me is in the tap, me is in the tap, onken. Lucasar, 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 Lucasar. He is in the tap, he is in the tap, he is in the tap, unchen. He is in the tap, he is in the tap, he is in the tap, onken. He is in the tap, he is in the tap, he is in the tap, unchen. He is in the tap, he is in the tap, he is in the tap, onken. Lucasar, 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 Lucasar. Yeah. Yeah, that one was encouraging because I was thinking about all the things that Asar went through to become king of eternity. So, we're eternal beings once our minds are at the right frequency. Speaking of Asar, I have this wall hanging here. I don't know if you all can see it. There we go. Move this out of the way. See if you can see it on YouTube. Yeah, you can. Okay, I'm gonna get out of the way. So this is from the Temple of Abdu. Like in one of the chants, I said, King of Abdu. Abdu is where the temple for Asar is. It's also called Abydos. And right when you walk into the temple, if you look up, this is actually from this. If you look up, you will see these images, and it looks like helicopter, spaceship, submarines, and then people like defaced it with their initials here. But it's very interesting. I think it's awesome. Some people will say that's not what it is, but what else could it be? It's like it to me. Hey, Missy. Hi, Missy. Thank you for tuning in. All right. So those are offerings for Asar. If you want to follow along with the notes that I have, they're at tachia.com/cosmic-adorations-for-Djehuty. I didn't mean to make the title of the page that long, but it's there. Oh, thank you for the heart. If you just go to tachia.com and type in Djehuty, it should pop up. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now we're going to have offerings for Aset. Like I mentioned, the constellations of the sacred hoop are Gemini, the Great Dog, and Orion. That represents Djehuty, Anpu, Asar, and Aset. So now we're going to do chants for Aset. Love is for all of the universes. Yes. You've been to many, I'm sure. This practice, the Natarian tradition, is really special to me because even though people call them gods and goddesses, they're actually forces of nature. Like we have the cosmic force of gravity, the cosmic force of electricity and magnetism, and then the forces that hold the cells together, and cosmic forces of love and things like that we're familiar with. However, there's also a cosmic force of beauty. There's a cosmic force of truth. There's a cosmic force of egoism. There's a cosmic force of water. There's a cosmic force of air. So these are these are the building blocks of creation. They're the elements, they're the atoms, and they're just forces in nature, forces of life. And that's why this practice is so meaningful to me, because it's more than just worshiping gods or goddesses. It's about learning how to create, learning how to manifest, learning how to live in peace within, even though it's really chaotic around you. So that's why I really love this practice. And so now we went to Anpu, we went to Orion. Now we're going to do Sirius. This is how this whole cosmic adorations of the cosmic hoop begins, because Sirius is my guiding star, and I just wanted to focus in on that particular area of the sky. The sacred hoop is from the Lakota tradition, and when you're looking into the sacred hoop, you're looking out away from the center of the Milky Way galaxy, and then when you're looking at the constellation of the Ophiuchus, which is between Scorpion and Sagittarius, you're looking towards the center of the Milky Way. And so I decided to focus my area of devotion on those particular alignments, because I'm a galactic girl. Everyone's asking, are you going to do offering for the full moon tonight? And I said, not really. It was just too stressful for me. So this one's going to offer the Kemetic and then read the English translation. So this is our speech of Goddess Aset. It's better. Djehuty and Ast, Ayub and Sake, Munake Nafu, if they can make it too. Insure Afuke, Barton to move, second Ike, Haiti Afuke, Eddie and Aum, okay in the tear, if you can care to Debbie K, Zemakeru, Kemutetu, Manetaru, Djehuty and Ast, Ayub and Sake, Umenake Nafu, you can make it too. Insure Afuke, Parting to move, Second Ike, Haiti Afuke, Eddie and Aum, okay in the chair, 50 you can care, it's Debbie K, Zemakeru, Kemutetu, Manetaru, Manetaru, Manetaru. for the translation. And my spiritual teacher is Dr. Mwada Ashby and Dr. Karen Ashby, Save My Mind, Save by Jah, and they've got a wonderful program at EgyptianYoga.com and Kemet University, and that's where I'm getting the translations. So here's the translation. And so these offerings, I'm singing them and reading them, and their prayers, just visualize yourself being showered with these prayers of protection and guidance and direction. That's how it helps me. These words are spoken by Goddess Aset. I come to you in a role as your protector. I blow from me to you the liberating and rejuvenating air from the north with fullness of consciousness, which cleanses your nose to the nostrils for your body. This air comes in the form of the god Temu, who is in the north, which is the spirit essence of Ra, the source and sustenance of all life, and the successful completion of the spiritual journey. I've collected the pieces of your throat for you so you can breathe and live. I pieced your throat back together and cleared obstructions to the air from Temu that conveys the vital life force. So now you have the capacity to experience unobstructed vitality. Now you do not have internal obstructions to existing as a conscious living being. I've given to you the capacity to exist in the form of a God, and in your presence, I present to you your enemies, which have fallen under your feet. So now you do not have external obstructions to existing in your divine form. By doing these things, I, the goddess of intuition and wisdom, the embodiment of wisdom, have caused for you to have a divine state in heaven, over which you have power and dominion, and all the gods and goddesses behold you. So when they mention enemies, it's not always talking about a physical enemy or somebody, a combatant. Usually they're talking to the enemies in our mind. Remember, the mind, I'm laughing at myself right now. The mind is where the ego resides, and you should not listen to your mind when it starts chattering at you and telling you all these terrible things. You should not listen. You should either pick up your books and study. You should go outside and stand in the grass with your bare feet. You should go for a run, have a glass of juice, or you could sit down and offer your devotions. You can meditate. You could do your tuning forks. There's so many things that you can do when that happens. I'm just laughing at myself right now. Not my higher self, my lower self. Okay. Let's have another offering for Aset. We'll move on to the main feature. Let's see, which one do we want to do? Oh, this is a nice one. Yeah, this is a nice one. Okay. And I'll show the beautiful artwork. This object in the center is the original Ankh. It's the Jez. It's a knot of Aset. And it's the original Ankh. All right, so here is the translation. The blood of Aset, which is the seed of her life power. This is the words of power of Aset. This is the instrument of her power. This is the shining spirit divinity of Aset, the essence of her divinity. The Ankh is tuned to individual frequency. I just know it to be the symbol of eternal life. I wonder if I can keep this live on while I'm walking. Well, you can watch the replay on YouTube or Instagram. Senefu and I said, Ekau and I said, Aku and I said. Senefu and I said, Ekau and I said, Aku and I said. And you could try call and response. You can see the words. Senefu and I said, Ekau and I said, Aku and I said. Senefu and I said, Ekau and I said, Aku and I said. Senefu and I said, Ekau and I said, Aku and I said. Senefu and I said, Ekau and I said, Aku and I said. Senefu and I said, Ekau and I said, Aku and I said. Yes, the blood of Aset. And it doesn't mean like physical blood. It means the life force, essence, energy, vitality. We're not blood drinkers over here. Now we're going to move into our special section for Djehuty. Just want to show the image that goes along with this chant. It's Djehuty writing something, and we are advised to let Djehuty write out our to-do list. Let Djehuty write out our whatever it is that we need to do. And Djehuty represents the cosmic mind. Remember, I mentioned the ego lives in a limited mind. Then we have an infinite mind, which is projecting our reality, this experience, and we should allow our infinite mind to be filled with the cosmic mind. We should not allow our ego mind to overrule our infinite mind. And that's what happens when, like this past couple of days, I was having spiritual amnesia. Even though I had all my tools, everything, I just was like frozen. And so this program is like helping me come out of it. So thank you for tuning in. I'm just laughing at my ego right now. Okay. So this is one of my favorite. Oh, I didn't read the translation. This is one of my favorite Hekau. Cosmic unification. Yes. Between heart and mind, because the heart is made with brain cells. The brain have brain cells that's ruled by the ego. The heart has brain cells, neuropeptides. The colon is lined with brain cells, and the uterus is lined with brain cells. So we actually have 4 minds. And we should not listen to this one. All right, here's the translation. I am Djehuty. Nuk a Djehuty. I am Djehuty. Ma'at Zebi Ma'at. Ma'at has effectiveness and expresses through me. Ra Nebim Neferu. Daily, I express beauty and goodness without fail. Perennially, I experience well-being and positive feelings. I noticed today that there's lots of people talking about the the emerald tablets of Thoth. And I hope they realize that Thoth is originally called Djehuty or Tehuti. And then I had the great good fortune of traveling to Mexico for my first time with Don Miguel Ruiz. And we went to Teotihuacan. And if you study When Rocks Cry Out by Horace Butler, you will learn that Teotihuacan is a place of Djehuty. So that is a big part of my research project when I get back to it. So here's a chant for well-being. Oh, that's the first one. Nuga Djehuty, Maat Sabi Maat. 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 Ranevim Peru, Ranevim Peru, Ranevim Peru, Ranevim Peru. Nuga Djehuty, Maat Sabi Maat. 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 Ranevim Peru, Ranevim Peru, Ranevim Peru, Ranevim Peru. Nuga Djehuty, Maat Sabi Maat. 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 Ranevim Peru, Ranevim Peru, Ranevim Peru, Ranevim Peru. A tap. That one always makes me laugh, smile, feel good. Okay. And okay, this one is an offering from a book by Seva Ma on the priest and priestesses of ancient Kemet and all the things that they went through. I know some people will disagree with me, but I mean, Kemet, from my research and my teachers, it's much older than 6,000 years. It's possibly like 260,000 years, or who knows, but it's much older than 6,000 years. And one of the things that kept it so vibrant and alive and powerful was the spiritual practice. I mentioned Ma'at briefly, but Ma'at is the goddess of balance, truth, order, harmony, justice, reciprocity, and righteousness. And everybody lived by Ma'at. That's just, they just did. And people that didn't, I don't really know what happened to them. Obviously, they needed Ma'at because not everybody was keeping up with it. But that was the goal, for everyone to live by Ma'at. And so your heart would be light as a feather, so that when your body dies, you wouldn't have anything weighing you down and having make you come back and keep having these lessons over and over again. So the goal is to have your heart light as a feather. So in my research, Kemet finally started to be overtaken because after 200,000 years or longer, the priests and priestesses were being infiltrated by foreigners, and eventually it just fell apart. So the priests and priestesses have a very important role to play in any community or nation because they help remind the people of their divinity, and they help keep the teachings to be continuous to be passed down. So once the priests and priestesses go, and once the women are defiled or abused, then that's when things start to deteriorate. However, it did last for 200,000 years. So anyway, so this offering is from, what chapter is it? Priests and Priestesses of Ancient Kemet by Dr. Wanda Ashby. And as you can see, I'm studying it so much that it's fallen apart. But one of the priests from Temple of Arat Sechem challenged me to write a song about what it's like to be a priest or priestess. And I didn't know that chapter 4. Yes. He asked me to write a song about the benefits and joys of being priest and priestess. And I didn't even know about the book. I was like, I don't know. But chapter 4 is about the benefits. It's called The Benefits and Immeasurable Joys of Being Priests and Priestesses. And so I put one of the paragraphs to music. I have to put it in my own words, but I don't have that ready. One of the descriptions of being a priest or priestess is being a slave to the divine, a slave to the teachings. And it doesn't mean like a slave like you think of someone in shackles. It just means a servant of the divine, one who lives by the divine and assists others on their spiritual journey. So I'm going to do some more research on the whole enslavement. What does this have to do with Djehuty? Djehuty is like the, he's like the head priest, basically. In short words. So where did I have that? Yeah, one of these days I will have it in my own words. So I can find something here. Oh, here it is. The joy that comes from living this life free from ignorance is being elevated above the joy of life in the ordinary society. This is Dr. Ashby saying, speaking for myself, I would not trade being a priest in the Kemetan culture for being a regular person as I was before in society for any amount that you can pay me. I have less now than I had before, materially speaking, but I am happier now, more joyous now, more fulfilled now, and this is what the scriptures is talking about. Those who desire to tread the path of Materian clergy should learn to feel this way, content and at peace with self, realizing that all other things are perishable and illusory and therefore unworthy of desire. Freedom from ignorance, doing the festival, making the common offerings again and again unceasingly are important disciplines to purify the heart and mind to keep steady on the path. These offerings that are given to the divine, where do they come from? The offerings come from the ordinary people who support the temple. When those offerings come into the temple, they are first presented to the divinity, and when the divinity is finished with them, then the priests and priestesses partake and are sustained by that. That is how it works. So that was a good reading for me because It's just what I'm going through. Yeah. All right, so let's get on with this offering. Oh, let me see. I don't know if I've ever tried it on the heart. Happy are they who serve. No, I don't think that's going to work. Let's try it again. Happy are they who serve. Oh, it's not the whole song, is it? That's what's wrong. That's what's wrong. That's not the first line. Okay. It's in here. This song came to me while I was actually at the Temple of Djehuty. That's why I'm offering it on Djehuty Day. I don't know if I have the whole thing here. I am a lot more organized than I was. However, there's still a lot more to go. Here we go. This one has the other song. Okay. Okay. And I call this one the Kit ones. Because my sound healing practice is called Kemet Tone, with the Kemet ones. Okay, that would be better. Okay, wait a minute, that's not how it starts. Happy are they who celebrate your majesty, oh great God. Nah, that's not going to work. I'll just use my system. That's how I was singing it when I was at the temple. I was actually at the temple. Djehuty has a temple in Armenia, and it's a catacombs underground. It's like 2,000 roads where they still have the offerings that people made back in the day of baboons, because Djehuty is represented by a baboon and an ibis. And I was down there, and the melody came. And I only had my sister, and I've never tried playing with her. Happy are they who celebrate your majesty, O great God. Happy are they who serve your temple continuously. We are the ones who elevate your power. We are the ones who exalt your grandeur. We are the ones whose hearts are filled by you. We are the ones who go on your path. We are the ones that came on your water. We are the ones concerned with your majesty's plan. Happy are they who celebrate your majesty, O great God. Happy are they who serve your temple continuously. We are the ones who elevate your power. We are the ones who exalt your grandeur. We are the ones whose hearts are filled by you. We are the ones who go on your path. The ones that came on your waters. We are the ones concerned with your majesty's plan. Okay, and I've got another simple one for Djehuty that also came to me while I was, yes, the oracles were sacrificed. Yeah. I guess it's what happens to most institutions, or anything that's alive comes to an end. Just like So they say that now it's time for everyone to wake up and return to ancient ways or cosmic ways or universal ways, breaking away from religions and hypocrisy, getting back to the truth and purity. Let's see here. Let's see if I can remember this one. Oh, yeah. You are Djehuty, guiding and protect me. You are Djehuty, writing out my destiny. You are Djehuty, heal my eyes so I can see. You are Djehuty, heart is what I seek to be. Djehuty, Mary Mati. You are Djehuty, guide and protect me. You are Djehuty, writing out my destiny. You are Djehuty, heal my eyes so I can see. You are Djehuty, art is what I seek to be. Djehuty, Mary Mati. Yep, I remember when that one came through. I had climbed down this ladder and I was standing next to a tomb of a priest that was of the catacombs, and this came through. I made a little recording of it. I just didn't remember it very well. It's a good one. All right. Next. Okay. Now we come to the special section of the program with newer songs. And this one came a few years ago when I first started it. Thank you for the love and the hearts. When I first started these online devotion series, this was right when Corona started, coronavirus. What's it? Yeah. And I had done a few, and then I went to Kemet. And while I was in Kemet, this was 2020, the virus, the catastrophe broke out. Oh, the sun's really going down. Better turn on some light. And I did one called the Purification Concert, and I did one on the Book of Breathings. That is, Djehuty's got this whole series called the Book of Breathings, Chapters of the Mystic Path of Meditation for Discovering Absolute Being. Mystic Chapters of the Cosmic Mind. This is Purdon Maru, Volume 3 by Dr. Juan Ashby. So I did one on the Book of Breathings. I did Purification. I did one for the Corona, coronavirus, the crown, and focusing on the air and the nostrils and the lungs, SEMA. It was really good. It's still on YouTube. And there was one song for Djehuty that I said, one of these days I have to revisit it, because those were all like impromptu sessions. I just had the teachings, and then a song would come through. So this is one that I've been wanting to revisit since then, and I finally made the time to look it up, to listen to the recording. So I'm going to offer that one now. This is from, here's Djehuty on his boat, the baboon beating the pig. That is the cosmic mind defeating egoism and Set. And let's see what else we got on this page. We have, because we all have a spiritual boat as we're riding across the ocean of consciousness, and we should be at the rudder of the boat where Haru is, and Set, our ego, should be at the front of the boat defeating chaos and iniquity. And sometimes, like yesterday and today, Set took overpowered Hedu, which is spiritual aspiration, spiritual victory. And Set was trying to steer the boat someplace completely different than where I'm headed. So let's see. So this is the teachings of New Kingdom, Purdah Maru, number 11. Follower of Djehuty brings sweet wind to nostrils. Shu, which is the air, the atmosphere, shines cleansing, enlightening light, and purifies the body. So I'm going to, and here's some images of Shu holding up the sky, which is pretty good indication of the whole flat earth theory. Because there it is. Geb is the earth, Shu is the air, the atmosphere, and Nut is the sky. So I'm going to read the translation first and then the offering. It's beautiful and powerful. So just feel the energy from this book of breathings showering you, bringing sweet wind to your nostrils, because everything is contained in the breath. Everything we need is contained in the breath. Our life is sustained and provided for by itself. I'm reminding myself. Why didn't I do this morning? And Shu, the air, the atmosphere, shines, cleansing, enlightening light, and purifies the body. So that basically saying that air is light. Like everything is light. But it's just beautiful. Okay. It is I who am in the following of the God Thoth, Djehuty, and therefore I am guided by the principle that he represents, intellect born of the cosmic mind. I extend praises, exaltations, and my adorations for what is occurring through the deed of Lord Djehuty, of his bringing to me airs and atmosphere that are sweet-smelling to the nose. This sweet-smelling air is life flowing from your personality, O Djehuty, and it is beautiful nasal perception in life that flows from knowing the wisdom of truth, immortality, and existence. It is northern, life-giving air coming out from within the God Temu, the cosmic force of creation and completion, accomplishment and conclusion of the function of your nostrils, which breathe the air of pure subtlety and luminous spirit consciousness. You are Lord of the exalted land, Kemet. He allows there to be illumination that comes from Shu, the ethereal light that emanates from Ra, the spirit, to make the skin the casing of the personality, to light up for you like Heru. And by his illumining for you the spiritual path by means of the solar rays, which he destroys for you, the unrighteousness that was in the limbs of the body, which are the organs of action. This cleansing illumination by means of fullness with the spirit, will, luminosity, through the breathing process, spirit, will, creative words, luminous ethereal light, was accomplished through breathing the ethereal light, Shu, that is now governor of his mouth, and thus controls creative words, allowing unobstructed expansion in consciousness. I'm just going to go over a few of these terms. So the northern air, when we talk about the north, that is a reference to the never setting stars. There's a few constellations that never go below the horizon, and we're supposed to head in that direction. Or you could head to the west, the beautiful west, where the god Temu, who's Ra Tem, is the setting sun. And where I am, it's the time of the sunset. So right now, Mercury and the sun are setting. And so you want to either head your boat, I had mine towards the northwest. You want to head it to the west so that you do not have to reincarnate. Or you head to the north for the never setting stars. And then I have to have the joke about Kanye West naming his daughter Northwest. You must have known something, right? Okay. So, and then so Temu represents the completion of your spiritual journey, that you don't have to come back. And then, so the ethereal light is the air that we're breathing. And then say, Rama has a few notes here. The root meh in the expression meh too, meh means fullness, therefore filling with air. And then here, the God Shu is referenced as having a power of illumination, as he also represents ether and space. This light may be termed ethereal light and is said to proceed from Ra. And the last thing I wanted to say was, accomplished through breathing the ethereal light Shu that is now governor of his mouth and thus controls creative words. So the mouth is a symbol for consciousness. If you ever see this symbol, it looks like that. And that actually is the first letter in my Egyptian name, Arit. Also, it represents actions. It represents the chakras. So governor of the mouth means governor of consciousness and controls creative words. So you can visualize your mouth being cleansed with the feather of Ma'at. I do that in my meditation. I have a Ma'at cleaning out my mind, my heart, and my mouth and my heart. Right, so now let's have this offering. I have been practicing. Like I say, it's new. It's new to me, even though it's 3 years old. I am Shashi and sorry. I am Shashi and Djehuty. Hakuwa Marie and Afghan. Anif Kaina Kaina. Benjamin King. Uncles in her King there to credit Jim Temu, the charity Kenya. Taj is there, Djehuty, open your share. Shinty better can. Say it to Jeff and Ken. Watson Jeff and Ken. To Ari Hauke, I'm sure I could take I am Shamshi and Djehuty. Haiku on the reed and FM. On an F and K now Najib infant K. Uncles and her K FM. There to pardon Temu, the charity Kenya. Taj is there, Djehuty, open your share. Shanty better can. Say it, Jeff and Kay. Boston Canter F and K. Djehuty Ari Hauke, Yamshua Kutebryan. I am Shimshi and Djehuty. Haiku Amarit and Afghan. I'm an FNK Nafu. Benjamin Fankay. Anquasan Hirke Nefen. Netu Pertin Temu. And Charity Kene. Tajazem Dahue. Open and Shuhe. Shinti Beteruke. Say Jeff and Kay. Watson Canter F and Kay. Djehuty Ari Hauke. I'm sure to Brian. One more time. I am Shimshi and Djehuty. Haiku Amarit and Afghan. Ana nothing came up. Benjamin came. Aquas and hair came affair. Led to curtain temu. And charity came there. Tajuzer Dahue. Uben and Shuhe. Shempeter Say Jeff and Kay. Watson Keter F and Kay. Djehuty Ari Hauke. I'm sure I could have Never Hatap. Awesome. So glad I brought that one back. Greetings, Sanchi. Do it for tuning in. You always catch me towards the end. Okay, I'm going to read the translation again because it's so beautiful. It is I who am in the following of God Djehuty. Therefore, I am guided by the principle that he represents, intellect born of cosmic mind. I extend praises, exaltations, and my adorations for what is occurring through the deed of Lord Djehuty, of the bringing to me airs and atmosphere that are sweet-smelling to the nose. This sweet-smelling air is the flowing from your personality, O Djehuty, and it is beautiful nasal perception and life that flows from knowing the wisdom of truth, immortality, and existence. It is northern life-giving life, northern life-giving air coming out from within the God Temu, the cosmic force of creation and completion, accomplishment and conclusion of the function of your nostrils, which breathe air of pure subtlety and luminous spirit consciousness. You are Lord of the exalted land, Kemet. He allows there to be illumination that comes from Shu, the ethereal light that emanates from Ra, the spirit, to make the skin the casing of the personality, to light up in you like Hedu, and by his illuminating for you the spiritual path by means of the solar rays with which he destroys for you the unrighteousness that was in the limbs of the body, which are the organs of action. This cleansing illumination by means of fullness with the Spirit will illuminate through the breathing the ethereal light, Shu the inner space, that is now governor of the mouth, consciousness, and thus controls creative words, allowing unobstructed expansion in consciousness. So, pop artistry. The term for a spiritual sister is senti, and spiritual brother is sen, not sin, S-I-N, sen, S-E-N. So that's why I said sen. My spiritual brother. All right, now we're going to move to a series of passages from the Book of Breathings. And page 100 through 107 from Seva Ma's book, Volume 3, Pardon Haru, Djehuty's Book of Breathings. This one's kind of long, and it's new to me, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. But I wanted to show you the illustrations. Djehuty writing out the, well, here's the scene from the Hall of Ma'ati, where the heart of the aspirant is being weighed against the feather of Ma'at, and Anpu is there running the scale. And here is Amit, who is the goddess ready to devour the heart of the aspirant if their heart is heavy. I mean, they have to come back and reincarnate. So you want your heart to be light as a feather and not be attached to what's going on, or be dissuaded, dismayed, discouraged. I'm laughing at myself, my lower self. And then Djehuty is here writing out, the record of what you did on your, kind of like the Akashic record, but it's your RU. Your RU is inscribed on your heart. Remember how I said the heart is like a second brain, and then the intestines is third, and the womb is the fourth brain. So your RU, your impressions from your past life, this life and your past life experiences is stored in your RU and your heart. And that's why we get sad or depressed or angry. We're not living in the moment. We're upset about how things are. We're upset things are taking too long. We're doubting that it's ever going to happen because your heart is heavy. It's weighed down. To do things to lighten the load of your heart, like this program does for me, making these offerings. Right, so let's continue with illustrations. So okay, this is the opening. Within the heavenly boat of Ra, Lord great of words of power, protector, great waters, divine speech, it is Djehuty, scribe, divine scribe of gods and goddesses. Okay, so that's the introduction, and that's going to be in this song. So here you can see, the great God Djehuty as scribe to the gods and goddesses, lords of words of power. And then here's the image of the boat. These images are from the temple of Dendera, which is like the astrology temple. Next time I go, I'm going to spend several days there. So we all have a boat, and we're making our spiritual journey. And we, like I said before, we want to be the pilot of our boat. So you see Haru representing yourself on the boat. So we're going to have a song with these teachings. From number 1, Haru is the pilot, and Djehuty and Ma'at are his arms, highest guidance to assure success on the journey of life and the spiritual path. This is from the hymn to Ra. The boat of the Sar from the ceiling of the temple of Hathor in Egypt, showing Haru as pilot and lookout. There's another illustration. In the spiritual boat, we all have a boat. And we have to be the pilot of our boat, not let our ego take over. So in this illustration, we have Haru, Djehuty, and Sekhmet. And I don't know the other two. Let's see. The boat of Ra. Haru is the pilot and lookout and protector of the boat of Ra. And then the next reading is Djehuty in me. Djehuty is in me. And Djehuty and Ma'at write the day for Ra. So you should ask Djehuty and Ma'at to write out our day. Sorry about that. That means the sun is setting. Or it's set. That's the blue hour. And then the next one, I am Haru, the believer supporter. I am Djehuty, who causes the spiritual victory. So Haru is spiritual victory, and Djehuty causes the spiritual victory. With our words and our thoughts, we're creating this experience. And number 6, Djehuty makes Asar, the universal soul, victorious. So to make the Asar, the individual soul, also victorious. So it's for us and Asar. And last but not least, Ra ordered Djehuty to make Asar spiritually victorious. Signature Heka'u. Okay, so these offerings are for us. So we'll be protected and spiritually victorious. Victory over enemies and negative thoughts. Okay. I just realized something here. Let me go back to it. Because this doesn't all fit on one page. So I can't read it all. Let's go back to this one. Oops. Yeah, here we go. But it already started the fireworks. Okay, so here we go. I guess I was going to play this one. So if I'm not feeling the melody, I'll just switch over to the drum. And I'm going to try. So I got, if you've seen me before, you know I love this harp that I got from Temple of Haru. Well, outside the Temple of the Market. So this is just like improv. I don't really like this right now. Oh, because they're the same. Ooh. Yep, it's not happening with that one. Let's try this one. Heru emari henu Djehuty ma herayu keturaim enebeton abzenechem zeker keftim nebes Mayan K. Mayan Heru Emari Henu Djehuty Maderayu Keturaim Henevedon Abzenechem Zeker Keftim Nebes Mayan K. Peru and Peru, Djehuty Mother I happy. Peru and Peru, Djehuty Mother are you happy? Peru and a song, I never can come. I'm in dead in Djehuty, Sultan Imanuka Neteran. Medu in a song, Netekeka. I'm in dead in Djehuty, Sultan Imanuka Neteran. Session K Djehuty man, I'll get it on it. Session K Djehuty man, I'll get it on it. Session K Djehuty man, I'll get on it. New I'm to Keru. Djehuty, they makeru, the sire kept out Nuka Mantukeru, Nuka Djehuty, they makeru, I sire kept out Djehuty, they makeru, the sire kept out say makeru asar, makeru emotel, Djehuty makeru asar kept okay. Say makeru asar, makeru emotel. Kefi say tara, Djehuty say makeru. Asar kept I Kefi to hard Djehuty. Maya Naheru and Mariheru, Djehuty Mare Ayuen. Maya Naheru and Mariheru, Djehuty Mare Ayuen. Keturayim Hey Nebedan. Keturayim Hey Nebedan. Abze Nejem Zeker Ketim Nebes Manke. Abze Nejem Zeker Ketim Nebes Manke. Teru Eneteru Djehuty Mane Ayuefi. Teru Eneperu Djehuty Mane Ayuefi. Medu in a side, attention Keka. I'm intending Djehuty, Sultan Hey, Menuka, Netera. Session K, Djehuty Mat, Abnetrane. Session K, Djehuty Mat, Abnetrane. Session K Djehuty Mat Abrantirane. Session K Djehuty Mat Abnetrane. Djehuty say makeru, Asarem keptawe. Nuam tu keheru, no Djehuty say makeru, Asarem keptawe. Djehuty say makeru, Asarem keptawe. Say makeru asar, makeru imhotep. Djehuty say makeru asar keptauke. Say makeru asar, makeru imhotep. Kerfe say tera, Djehuty say makeru asar keptauke. Kerif tu adu in Djehuty. Kerf say tera, Djehuty say makeru asar keptauke. Can't be too hard, not Djehuty. Never. Dua Djehuty. So that was a very powerful offering, even though it's new. But the words and the meaning behind the offering have a lot of power and protection and, reminding me that my mind and my words create my reality. And when I get lower vibration, I'm stuck in an illusion. Ooh. And it's easy to break free. You just have to remember. Okay, so one more Hagao for Djehuty. For those of you who are just tuning in, or I haven't announced it in a while, today is the offering of cosmic adorations for Djehuty because Mercury has joined the sun in sidereal Gemini, and the sacred hoop consists of Gemini, the great dog, and Orion, or Djehuty, Anpu, Aset, and Asar. So we had offerings for those divinities today. And I thank you for being here, for tuning in live and the replay. And I have to remember that these offerings are not just for the community, they're for myself. And when I really don't feel like doing it, it will really help if I do it anyway. So thank you for tuning in. And we have the last chant for Djehuty. It was the first one that came to me for Djehuty back in 2015. That's when I first started writing these Kemetic chants, or I guess it was 2014 when my first devotional CD was released. And I released another one last July in honor of the Nigerian New Year, which is July 13th through the 21st, when Sirius appears again in the sky. I am working on 2 other albums, one for Amun and one for Ma'at. And I thought they would be released by now. So I gotta not be discouraged about that. Anyway, this one is for Djehuty and Sesheta. So Djehuty is the cosmic mind, and Sesheta, his consort, is the cosmic scribe. And it's said that Sesheta is the one that came up with the Medu Neter, and she taught it to Djehuty, and then he taught it to everyone. But he gets credit for it. Sounds familiar? Djehuty, 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 Dua, 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 Djehuty, Dua, 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 Djehuty, 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 Djehuty. Sesheta, dua, 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 Sesheta, Djehuty, 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 Naku, 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 Djehuty, Naku, 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 Djehuty, Naku Shasheta, Naku Shasheta, Naku Shasheta, Naku Shasheta, Naku, 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 Shasheta, Naku, 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 Shasheta, Djehuty, 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 Dua, 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 Djehuty, Naku, 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 Djehuty, Dua Shasheta, Dua Shasheta, Naku Shasheta, Naku Shasheta, Dua, 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 Shasheta, Naku, 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 Shasheta, Djehuty, Dua Shasheta, Naku Djehuty, Naku Shasheta, Dua, 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 Djehuty, Dua, 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 Shasheta, Naku, 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 Djehuty, Naku, 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 Shasheta, Dua Djehuty, Dua Shasheta. I'm just gonna close out with this funny story. It just dawned on me a few days ago. I posted a TikTok. I haven't shared it on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram yet. But it dawned on me the other day that when I was 14 years old, I was in high school, I was having a lot of trouble getting along with my mom. Oh, Dua! Thank you. Thank you, Sen. I was getting along with my mother, and my friend gave me a blank journal, diary. I guess it could be a sketchbook with no lines or anything. Like I said in my video, I've never seen a book like that before. So I started writing in my diary, but I didn't want my mother to know what I was writing in my diary. So I created my own language. And I started writing out my journal and my own language. And I kept the language, the glossary somewhere else so she couldn't find it. And one day I wrote out a story in my language about myself, that I would have long curly hair. Back then I had a perm. I didn't know any black woman with long curly hair unless they were, quote unquote mixed, or we had it straightened, right? But I drew pictures with ringlets like this. And back then my hair wouldn't do that. And I drew a picture of a man with long curly hair, ringlets, had a mustache and a beard. And he wasn't, quote unquote, like black. He was melanated, but he wasn't African melanated. He was indigenous. And I started drawing. I drew pictures. I was making hats and bags out of colors with meaning. And he rescued me in a white horse, and I described our life together. I was 14, and I didn't think anything of it. And I kept the diary, kept the journal, I kept the glossary. And then when I was 24, I went to a night club. Liberty Lunch was a reggae club, world music. And I was on a date with my boss. I was thinking of, dating him. I'm so glad I didn't. I worked at a wellness center. And so while I was out on this date, the man that I drew the day before I went out, I said, this is never going to happen. I'm done. I just, I've held this book for all these years. I'm throwing it away. So I threw it away. They went out, and the man that I had drawn in my diary was there. I saw him standing right next to him. And I was like, this can't be happening. I hope he asked me to dance. And I even remember the song that was playing when we met. And I thought he was going to dance with the girl next to him. I'm going to have to find that song. And so anyway, he asked me to dance. And I left with him instead of my boss. And he encouraged me to stop combing my hair. I had cut it short because I was tired of perming it, and I was swimming a lot. And he encouraged me to grow my locks. And then we got into the Rastafarian culture, and I started making tams and bags out of red, gold, and green. Bags and hats of colors with meaning. And he didn't have a white horse, we had a white car. And then we had this amazing life, with the music and the home births and the children and the festivals and the co-ops and the police raids and everything. So I'm closing this session of Djehuty out to say that I am a cosmic scribe. Things that I write out have manifested, and I don't take it seriously. It always shocks me when it happens. I've done things like this a few times, and I've just been afraid of my gift, my power. So what I'm going to do is write an end to that story, because I still wanted to have like a happy ending, like we're going to get back together or something. So I'm going to write the end of the story where that's the end, and then I'm going to start a new story. I don't know if I'm going to write another language or just use the metanetter. But that is what this next phase of my life is going to be about, this story. And it's really interesting because today when I was like boo-hooing, my eyes were leaking. I had my Purdy Maru. I wasn't reading it. My eyes were leaking, and I was listening to Abraham Hicks. Someone encouraged me to listen to Abraham Hicks. And there was some guy had a recording of his favorite quotes by Abraham Hicks, and I was writing them down. And I was thinking about the story I just shared with you. And the next thing he said, I wrote it down. Wait a minute, this is too crazy. Hold on, I gotta go get it. If I can read my handwriting. Oh my gosh, I'm all smiles. I'm so different from when I started. I was like so miserable. Okay. All right. So the next thing he said was, let's see. Oh. I don't know if I can read it. Oh, wait. I can't find it. Okay, let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, so I was thinking about the story. Oh, battery's fine. I was thinking about the story, and then the very next one was tell the story with solution emphasized, not the problem. Stop complaining. Explain it the way I want it to be, not the way it has been. And so I stopped and I was like, oh, great. My story is over. Now it's time for a new story. This is what I wrote in my notes. One where I am victorious and thriving. Then I put the recording on again, and it says, imagine, visualize, and verbalize a new story. In time, I will believe the new story, and when this happens, the evidence will flow swiftly into my experience. So that was a crazy moment for me today. I guess it's the full moon, like my friend said, and oh, you didn't hear the end of the story. Okay. Okay, I will repeat the story a little bit, or you can watch the replay. because I know the screen froze. I was saying that when I was 14, someone gave me a diary, and I came up with my own language, and I wrote the story about meeting who became my ex-husband and everything that happened. Why did the relationship end? The relationship ended because I was still very much afflicted with PTSD, and that's what broke up our relationship, our marriage. And so I have to close that chapter because I wanted it. I thought that when I was done with my healing that we would be able to be a family again. So I'm going to write the end of that story and start a new beginning, a new story. So yeah, it's sad. It's a very sad story. It's a very sad story. But anyway, I was really encouraged by the reading today from Abraham Hicks, and also from being here today. I was supposed to do this yesterday, and I was just so uptight. I could not bring myself to do it. And I said, that's okay. I'll do it this morning. My eyes were still leaking. And it could have been the rain yesterday. The rain causes us to release emotions. I don't know. But I definitely feel better now, and I hope you can watch the replay on YouTube or Instagram. And also you could go to my webpage, tachia.com/cosmic-adorations-for-Djehuty, and the replay will be there. I'll also post some clips from this session and the ones about Nebharu. Okay, thank you very much for your presence as a gift to me. And thank you for the love and the hearts. I saw them on the screen at TikTok. And if you have any suggestions on what I should do for subscriptions, please let me know. I'm overthinking it, using my limited mind and not the cosmic mind. Anyway, Dua Hatap, Dua Djehuty, thank you for tuning in. And I'll see you soon. Oh, I don't know when I'll be back, but I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I hope the sound was good today on YouTube, and I'll be back with another transmission very soon.